Hi, how are you today? We're on Thursday already. I can't believe how fast this whole year is going. My little boy is 33 tomorrow. 33. It's such a scary thing. Um, so we're hopefully going to see him tomorrow, either going down there or he's coming here. So happy birthday, Danny. Hi. Everybody started coming on now. We are going to do a draw that we've got to do yesterday, and to win the red, white, and blue jelly roll, junior jelly roll that Sarah told you about. And I've got some news. So whatever was on sale yesterday is now off, and today's daily deal is 15% off Liberty Riviera. So that's the new Liberty that's come in. I said 10%. She's given you 15% because she's nicer than me. And that's until 10 o'clock tomorrow, or when we remember. But 10 o'clock tomorrow, it will come off sale and something else might go on. How's everybody doing? You're all right? And also Fat Eights, it's 10 for £7.50. So Fat Eights, we seem to have an abundance of them at the moment. So it's a random 10 for £7.50. It's normally £10. So you're actually saving, what's that? £2.50? Yeah, £2.50. Look at me doing maths, easy maths, but you know. And 15% off, that's roughly makes it about $14.90 for a metre of Liberty. So yeah, you might want to have a look because it's really pretty. I meant to bring over the Fat Quarter bundle to show you what they were all like, but this is one that I've quite liked. I mean, I'm not a Liberty person, you know this, but this one I would buy this one. I keep going, dressing, that would be nice. Oh, dress! I made a dress. Look at this. It's got pockets. So I made a dress. There's things on it I would change. Not the pattern necessarily, but my accuracy sewing. I used the overlocker on the seams as well, and I do that slightly different. But I learned a lot. So and it's an easy pattern. It's from Cool Crafting. Trying to think what it was called. We've got the Sydney dress. This was something else. No, it's gone. Out of my thing. Thanks, G. Thanks, Taryn. I think I love this fabric. This fabric is so pretty. So so I will be making more. You never know. I've got a day off tomorrow. However, I think I'm going to be using it cleaning my house because I am just my cleaner has quit. Not because of anything that I've done, but because she got herself a nice little job in an office, and quite frankly I would prefer to do that than cleaning, which is why I had a cleaner. So I have to do it myself, so I think we might be doing that. I might take Henry home. I also put up a post this morning about our local village show, and thanks everyone. I don't know that we can whether we can accept from away, but definitely locals, have a look and see what is on offer for needlework, and put it in. Just support your local village shows, and find your own local shows and put your work in there. There is some amazing work going out there. Get it recognised, put it in, see it actually out on display. Your quilts look so different when they're put out for you to have a look at. We did an exhibition, which we should try and look into a day to do another one. We did an exhibition, and everybody in our modern quilt and our classes all put quilts in, and they were surprised at how amazing they look when you can put them against the wall and take that step back and look at your work. And the fact that there was some up there that were the same patterns but done in different fabrics, and they looked like completely different quilts. Stunning, really stunning. So if you get the chance and you have a local show, county show, put your stuff in there. All right, own it, be proud, show people your work. All right. So to recap, 15% off the Liberty Riviera, which is the brand new Liberty that's in. Go and have a look at that. And fat 8s for 10 for $7.50. So the thing that you've all been waiting for is the draw. Okay, so your red, white and blue, you put those up. Again, amazing works. Put them in your village show. And here we have them all written down. Okay, drum roll. And we have Carolyn Davis, and she's on a bus, so she's not even going to know she's won. She said, I won't join you for the 1 o'clock, I'm on a bus. She's going for a drink. So there you go. You didn't see it live, but Carolyn Davis, you are our winner. So there we go. We'll get that in the post. I think we've got your fat quarter going out. We might open it and put that in as well. So how is everybody? Oh, Carolyn, there you are. So Carolyn, you won. Carolyn. So we are out. Yeah, I'll let her know. She's off to sports day, but she's having a gin. You can't do grandma race running when you've had a gin. So thank you very much for all the love for my dress. It's who said what pattern is it? I will put a post up for the pattern. It's everybody's been doing all their block of the weeks. Missed block of the week. Claire, you got to get back on there and find out what block of the week was yesterday, okay? Because that's part of our quilt, and you need to get on with that. Well, you were wrong, Carolyn. Now, normally it's me that's wrong, but today it's you, so I could be right today. Okay, so we're doing a bottle bag. This looks just like a tote, but it's been changed to make a bottle bag, and it's a different way of doing the bottom. Okay, now this is one that's not lined. I will talk you through that as we go. I'm actually going to do this one. Okay, I've lined this with thermal, the Tinsel Bright, and so remember back last year or the year before I showed you a bottle bag which went completely wrong. I'd used insulation on that, and it kept a cold. We bought a bottle of water from the shop that had been in the fridge, and it stayed cold in Crete all day. It was still cold because I put it in a bag, a bottle bag which had this Tinsel Bright in it. Oh, you could use it as handcuffs. So I mean, you can change the sizes on this. This is just the size that I've gone with. It should take a bottle of wine and keep your wine cool for barbecues. And that way you know that you're drinking your wine and you're not left with the rubbish. So, onward and upward, eh? So to do the unlined one, which is fine for picnics and carrying wine if you're going to a party or something, you need a piece of fabric which is 13 wide by 30 long. All right, so you can get that out of less than half a metre. So yeah, if you have half a metre of fabric hanging around, and it could be an old duvet cover, there's no saying it has to be, Okay, and if you're going to do the unlined one, I had a 2.5, 2.25 piece that just folds over just to finish it off. Okay, it's very hard to open it because it's all done. But I'll talk you through that bit because you don't do that on the other one. So where are we? Let's get these out of the way for a minute. I'm going to want those. I like that. Yeah. Okay, so where are we? So you're going to put it right sides together. So you are 13 wide by 30 long. Now, I made an effort to find non-directional. I was going to use the beach hats, but they would have been upside down on the one side without cutting and sewing back together. Okay, so you're going to put them right sides together like that, and then you're going to turn up your bottom edge up by 1.5 inches. Okay, approximately. So there, that's 1.5. No, that's 1. Why is it going? That's 1.5. There we go. So 1.5, and you're going to pin or clip that. Right. This is a very simple little bag. Okay, like that. And we're now going to sew up both edges. Edge of foot, nothing world shattering, just edge of foot all the way up. Okay, so I'm going to put a pin in there and a pin in there just to make sure they stay still, and we're going to go over here. That one out of the way, like that. Okay, I had to redo the bobbin because I remembered that Sarah's bobbin ran out, and I don't think she'd been sewing yesterday because she went to fetch Rory, so by the time she got back, oh, unplugged it. Okay, there we go. I had a new machine. I don't know whether Sarah mentioned it. I bought a new machine. I still went with Brother because I just love Brother. But I went with the VQ2, which has got a bigger throat and which I think will make a difference if I want to do any quilting at home. However, I've got Daphne now. Why would you want one? So I'm loving it. It's not that much different to my mine, but it's got an automatic needle threader, and it's got this button. That's the one that I always have problems with, remember? So we're going back just to make sure that it's locked off at the bottom and straight up. Okay. Like this. Okay, and now I'm going to finish it off like that. Press that and that. Okay, so just sewn up the sides like this. Okay, I've got a little bit of a tuck in there, but you're not going to see it. So you're going to turn it round the right way, like this. Okay, you could cut your corners off if you wanted. I'm just going to line it up here, and I'm going to measure 3 inches in from the edge, and I'm going to put my whatever these are called. What are they called? Handles. We'll put the handles on there, like this. Like that. Measure 3 inches from that one. Like that. Make sure that this is flat. You don't want it all curled up and she says. I'll put that on there. Okay, and then turn it over and put one on the other side as well. Now, you could also do it so that you could carry 4 bottles. So you could make 2 of these, right? And only put the handle on one side of each. And then when you're doing the sewing up the middle, you sew them together so that they become a 4 bottle thing. Depends on how many bottles you want to take with you. Depends on the party. Are you going to be there all night? If you are, then you might need 4 bottles. Okay, so we're going, let's put this on here because we're only making a 2 bottle, because I now have 3 of these, and how many bottle bags do you actually need? So we're going to do this like this, and you're going to baste the you're going to baste them in place. All right, so back over to here, just basting these little things in place. Go along there. Oh, just missed the bag. This one. Now you do, when you're basting something like this, do it less than the seam allowance that you've given yourself, whatever it is. Alright. Got an itchy nose today, so we're going along here, like this. So have you all got plans for the weekend? I'm hoping the weather's going to get a little bit better. I've got however, I'd probably be better if it rained this weekend, so that I could get on with tidying my craft area, because I still haven't done that, even though I promised him I would. So we could see we've basted these in place. Now with your 2.5 inch strip, what you're going to do is work out, this is if you're just doing the unlined one, okay? The unlined one, you want to have this strip that you're going to sew on, which will sandwich these straps. It'll sandwich the straps in so that you it makes it really neat. Okay, so you would work out your circumference of whatever size you've decided to make your bottles. I mean, if you're carrying flagons of cider around, you might want a bigger bag, and you would then make a circle so that it fits your fabric, that your bag that you've already done. You're going to sandwich right sides together and sandwich your handles. You're going to hem that first. It's easier to hem it first. So just give yourself a little hem. I mean, you don't even need to double fold it because you're not going to see it. So you would just top stitch that, put a little hem on it. You could pink it if you didn't want to hem it, and then sandwich your handles. And then once that's done, that is going to flip over, okay? And with your all this would be all tucked under and all neat and tidy and put away like this. Okay, so once you've done that, you would then sew up the middle, make sure that your bottom edge is in, sew straight up the middle, and then you're done. Okay, that's if you're doing the one that's not lined. However, just to make it a little more interesting, because that would be me done. I could go and have me sandwiches then, couldn't I? With this one, I've cut myself a piece of Insulbright. Again, can't remember which way it should go round. I'm going to do it that way, and then you're going to cover it with your inside. So I measured that over there, and the fabric seems to have shrunk since. But not to worry. Not to worry. Now you could baste this. Glue baste it. It's probably not a bad idea. So I'll put a bit of glue on here. Baste that down. Like that. There we go. So that's all basted. Okay. Now I need to trim this to this size, don't I? So if I move it over to there, I've obviously cut this slightly smaller, which is not a bad thing for an inside. Like that. I'll trim this off over here. Did you watch what happened to Sewing Bee yesterday? Did I miss something? Because we couldn't find it, and nobody seemed to be mentioning it on Facebook either. So I don't know whether we just missed something. We started watching Glow Up. Bottles of gin and tonic, yeah, you could keep them separate until you're ready to mix them, Jean. So, but I don't know whether we missed something. Right, you're going to do exactly the same here. Now, it doesn't fit in the bottom as well because this bit here is all sewn up. Okay, it's sewn to itself. So it just sits on one side. Now you could, I suppose, you could just leave it flat, couldn't you? If you left it flat, would that work? Because it would just sit on the one side, which is what it's doing now. No, we're going to carry on and we're going to do this again. So we're going to fold this up. If you make a smaller fold, then it'll fit in better, I think. Okay, like that. It was on. Yeah, we couldn't find it. So yeah, we were on iPlayer. So maybe I've got to wait for it to thing. We'll catch up with it. So don't tell me what happened. No spoilers, please. Okay. Right, this. My cutting leaves a lot to be desired. I have to be honest. So. Oh, it moves a lot. So don't be a dill and pin it. Alright. We shall I think we'll pink that going up if I can find her pinkers. If not, we'll just trim it. There we go. So anyway, we started watching Glow Up, and we love Glow Up. It's you like Taryn. It's on the BBC. You'll find it on iPlayer, and this is season 4, I think, season 4. And we binge watched the last lot because we found it at season 3, so we binged them and loved them. I mean, what these people do, they're so clever, really so clever. I'm going to go along here. I'm just sewing it roughly. Okay, so here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to trim. Is that a pinkers? Yeah, it's a pinkers. I'm going to pink it, all right, along the edge. Let's go to there. Children's Week. I went through my patterns yesterday because I collect patterns. I see a pattern that I like and buy it, and I've probably got fabric to go with it as well somewhere stashed away, but I've bit the bullet. I've made one and we'll just go from there now. Right, so I've done that. What you need to do, you know about bags, don't you? That if you're putting a lining in something, generally you're putting it face to face. All right, so I'm going to put this inside my lining. All right, so we're going to slot this inside the lining like this, and we're going to make sure that the straps are inside as well, like that. And then we're going to marry it all up. So you want to marry up the seams to begin with. Okay, so there's your seams. So I'm going to go along there like that. And I'm going to go which way is that going? It's going that way. So I'm going to marry up and nest your seams. All right. Now you could iron all these seams open and then just flat marry, or you can just turn one to the side. Okay, so I'm going to put this is almost finished. It's surprising how quick they are. They'd be a good one if you're doing stalls. A little kit you could sell them at stalls for charity or anything like that. Okay, so we've done this. Now I'm going to leave a gap, and pull through there, and then we'll top stitch it afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to leave my gap here. I'm going to it takes a bit getting it out of that little gap, mind. I had a wider gap last time because my straps were not quite as wide. I don't see them in the middle, but there we go. So I'm going to start here and end here, and then you can all laugh at me trying to get it out the little hole. Okay, so we're just going to go all the way around. Now because, I don't know, it seems to be all right. make your stitch width on the top of a bag or anything that you want it to be right first time. You don't want to be fiddling with it. Make it slightly bigger than you know, give yourself a good seam allowance, because that way you're catching everything in. So I'm just going to go slightly bigger than edge of foot. It's better to on something like this where you're not having to worry about your whether or not it's going to all fit. Do you know what I mean? There's no exact measurements on this. I've gone near 13 by 15, but you could make it any number you like, really. Pull that through. And because you make your lining slightly smaller, you'll find your outer bag will be slightly bigger in places. So you need to ease it in, because you the wadding doesn't give very much. Other wadding does, but this one doesn't. I'm just trying to make all this fit together. Going around. It's in your little bag. It won't take long, she says. Might be able to disguise it a little bit. So we're going all the way around. Back stitch there, because I'm going to be yanking on it. Okay, so there we go. Which one am I wanting? That one. So push that one back. I just think you need more space. Okay, so I'm just going to trim that down along here. Because you don't need quite so much seam in your allowance, but I know that I've caught everything, she says, with her fingers crossed. So we're going along here. It's hard work over some of the straps. Now I used quite thin straps on the other one because that's what I had in my box. But there's no reason why you couldn't make your own straps. And you can have them any size you like then. Okay, so there's the hole. Here. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. What's been going on? Montana dress. Which one's the Montana dress? This one? No? Yeah, we don't watch anything with adverts anymore. When you go anywhere and they've got adverts on, I find myself mesmerised by them. And some of them are so bad. And then you've got to watch them, the same adverts. There should be a rule that you don't have the same advert more than once in a program. You know, if you're watching a program and they've got adverts on, then you should be allowed to only watch it once. There we go. So we now have our bag. So we're going to pull all that out. So at this point, I always think, oh my God, I've done it wrong. It's not fitting. So you've got your bottom on here, like that. We're going to stick the iron on. Okay. So I'm going to stick the iron on here, like that. Because it's going to be really difficult when it's because it's turned itself off. Now, talk amongst yourselves. My pattern, is it the Montano? Is that what Style Arc? Bought it from, they had Cool Crafting written up. But yeah, Montana dress sounds right, Sarah. You've got a better memory than me, I'll tell you that. So we're going along here. But it was a really easy make. It was a lovely make to do, and I'm assuming that the rest of her stuff, their stuff, is also easy. Right. Okay. So just run the iron over here. As you can see, I don't iron much. Cool. This yellow fabric's quite pretty as well, isn't it? So you can see now we've got our outside bag and our inside bag. You can see the straps, and we're going to push this inside. You can see it gives it quite a bit of stability. Now, you could stop here. There is no reason why you need to do the next stage. You could, not the next stage, the bit up the middle. There's no reason whatsoever. You could use this to put your sandwiches in, or, you know, free range bottles. You don't need to corral them like that. And then we're going to top stitch that. Okay. I think I've pushed it down too much. So you want to give it a nice little, put it into place, roll your seams, like this, and like this. You can see my little tuck there. So be handy for the beach, put your stuff in. You could put your sun lotion in it. Imagine putting that on cold, on hot skin. So you go round this now. I would lengthen your stitch. Not sitting straight in there. Oh, it's sitting there. So yeah. But this Tinsel Bright is amazing. I love it. I use it quite a lot. Can you imagine me with Beausoleil Tinsel Bright? So we're going to up our stitch to a 3. There we are. To a 3.5. I'm going to start on the side that's got my. Well, off and put it back on again. I'm going to start on the side that's got the gap, so that I possibly will remember that the gap is there. Okay. There. Now I'm just going to top stitch. Okay, so you want to make sure your handles are sticking up, because otherwise you get yourself into a bit of a tangle like I did last night. I ended up sewing the handle to the bag because I couldn't get it out of the way. So of course then you've got to unpick it. Keep it going. So how many of you have already done your letters, or are you all just waiting for your fat quarters, which will be in the post today? So you'll be able to do those over the weekend, and then we'll start looking forward to getting them through. So we've sold about, you know, it's going to be a big quilt. Oh. There we go. Okay, so we're now on the last bit. You want to try and sort out your bottoms so that they're sitting pretty flat. So this sits up here. Like I say, they're not going to sit brilliantly due to the fact that you've got that sewn bit up there. This is something I would have to work on, I think. If we were ever going to do it as a kit, I would have to work on it. Oh, talking of kits, you know the little ironing caddies that we did on Create and Craft? We've had more of the ironing stuff through, so we'll get that up onto the website, so that if you wanted to try the ironing caddies, you'll be able to buy it by the meter, or half meter. But what we will do is we will also do it so that you can buy a kit. So you would buy just enough, you know, you buy that size of, you put your own fat quarters to it, but we'll give you that size wadding and that size of the ironing, the Luminex stuff in a kit. So where did that come from? Let's come out there. Okay, so we found the middle on this. Okay, on the middle on that, and I'm going to put a pin here. And in the middle there. Now you can measure it. There. That's about right, isn't it? Okay, so back to the machine. That's on there. There we go. Okay, so we're going to foot down, pin out. I've left it on a long stitch because you're going through even more layers now. Just take yourself up here. If you end up with one side bigger than the other, then your tonic goes in one side and your gin in the other. the iron turning itself off. Got to tuck in that. So there you go. We are done. So you've got your bag. So this one is the one with the Insulbright. I mean, you could do two, and what you do is if you wanted like a 4-holer one, you would put the straps on one side, leave them off on this one, and then attach the other one with the other strap, so that it then holds it on either side. So your bag would be like that. You would sew these two together and you'd end up with 4 pouches. Right, I just need a party to go to now. So that's it. That's your lot. So congratulations to Carolyn for winning the jelly roll. Don't forget 15% off Liberty if you're a Liberty person. There is a few Liberty job lots still left, I think, in the job lots, and there's some Liberty still on the bolt, and that's really cheap. I can't remember how cheap, but I think it's about £10 a metre. There's some of the Christmas and some of the other ones. So that was you're welcome. Everybody is welcome. It's a nice little thing, and if you're doing them for stalls, they're a really quick make. You might want to overcast your seams if you're doing it for charity. Either that, you leave them and they'll come back to buy more because they're really handy. That's it. Fat 8s as well. 10 for £7.50. They're on the daily deal, so you'll find those in daily deal. I'll see you next week. So take care.